So in light of the anime of Naruto Shippuden recently ending the Kaguya Otsutsuki arc, I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about a particular topic that I wanted to talk about when the manga was going through this particular portion of the story, but now I can talk about it. And that is, should the Sage of Six Paths Hagoromo have been the final villain in Naruto opposed to Kaguya Otsutsuki? I mean, the Naruto versus Sasuke stuff that comes afterward is fine because that should have been in place anyway, but mainly the stuff that happens in between Madara and Naruto versus Sasuke, I definitely say that the Sage of Six Paths should have replaced Kaguya as that final villain. One of the main reasons being, the Sage of Six Paths was foreshadowed long before we got any mentions of Kaguya Otsutsuki. We was hearing about him for a while, of how he was this great person that started the world of chakra and he started all these different things. It was like, yo, we heard about him for so long, it's great. And don't get me wrong, his role that he played in the end of the story was fine, ultimately being this great seeker of peace and all that good stuff, but I definitely feel as though if we were gonna have one more villain after Madara, it should have been him, and here's why. Like I said, again, he was foreshadowed a lot longer than Kaguya, but Kaguya's mention wasn't even till the Madara versus Naruto and Sasuke fight. That was the first time we really got any word of her, when Madara was just sitting there and he's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you guys real quickly in a narration about this woman that was the Sage of Six Paths mother, or it might have even been Hagoromo. It was basically really late in the story that we first heard about her, and I think definitely it would have been more suited for Kaguya Otsutsuki to be a movie villain opposed to being the final series villain, because you could have had, okay, Hagoromo's the final villain, and then you finish the story, and instead of having Tonetti, or you could have pushed Tonetti for another movie, or you could have her maybe come after the Tonetti movie. It would have been more suited, because it's like, okay, escalating the bloodline, and at the same time, oh, okay, we dealt with the Sage of Six Paths, here's his mother, she was even more crazy, she's the reason why he went evil, something along the lines of that. It would have been more suited, because again, for a movie villain, you don't really need any foreshadowing, it's just kind of like it could stand alone, but on top of that, you would have had the connection to the Sage of Six Paths, and it would have worked better. You could have even replaced those cousins that she had in the Boruto movie, and I think it just would have been so much better opposed to having Kaguya to have Hagoromo, because the mythical power that he had. He was always said to be absolutely strong, and obviously having all that foreshadowing was great, but then on top of that, you have this really credible threat, because let's be honest here, everything we've seen of Kaguya from the time she appeared to the time she got sealed by Naruto and Sasuke was not that impressive. She didn't really have any bodies under her belt aside from Obito, who was gonna die anyway, and she pretty much ruined the whole greatness that we had of Madara Uchiha. If somebody was gonna ruin the setup and the absolute insanity that we had of Madara Uchiha, which he was foreshadowed since part 1 of the story, when we saw the statues of Hashirama and him and stuff like that, you had this dude foreshadowed for a long time. So if somebody is going to ruin that pattern of this guy is probably going to be the final villain and have somebody else that was truly the final villain, it should have been somebody that was foreshadowed, if not equally as long, then somewhere along that time span, because that way it would feel a little bit more legit. And again, Hagoromo was legend to be this absolutely strong person. Now, when Kaguya was mentioned, she was mentioned to be, you know, incredibly strong, and Hagoromo and his brother had to take him out, but it just didn't really feel right because of the way the story was presented. Because for a long time, everybody was just like, yeah, Madara's the final villain, we seen him, you know, he came out the coffin, he planned all this shit, and then it was kind of like this woman that really didn't do anything and had this black slime piece of shit that was helping to do all these things. Like, it just felt very convoluted towards the end, and I honestly truly believe that the final villain should have been Hagoromo in place of Kaguya Otsutsuki, because it just would have been a lot better. I mean, don't get me wrong, the role that Hagoromo played towards the end of Naruto was fine. The solution he was trying to find to the problem he had with his sons, and, you know, just trying to get rid of evil in general, even if it's in a future generation, that was fine or whatever. But as far as being the final villain, yeah, I think it would have been more suited, because again, Kaguya didn't really do too much. She was foreshadowed later on in the story. She ruined the greatness that we had set up with Madara, and it was just kind of like, what was the point? She could have been a movie villain and it would have been perfect. But let me know what you guys think of this small topic. Again, this is something that I wanted to cover back in 2014 when we was around ending this era of Kaguya Otsutsuki. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do it. Do you guys think that Hagoromo, the Sage of Six Paths, should have been the final villain in place of Kaguya Otsutsuki? She would have been better as a movie villain, or you think vice versa? Also, do you think that it would have felt a little bit better had Hagoromo taken over Madara's body opposed to Kaguya, because he was foreshadowed for so long and he was told to have this incredible strength? And your overall thoughts of this? Just a small Naruto topic I kind of wanted to discuss, because it's been a long time that I wanted to, and now is as good a time as any. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.